Hello friends and welcome back to Picture Astrology. In this quick snap video, we will talk about placement of Jupiter in the sign of Capricorn for the Sagittarius Ascendant horoscope. So when Sagittarius, that is the ninth sign, rises in a horoscope, then Jupiter becomes the lord of the ascendant itself, and that is because Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. So we have the ascendant lord Jupiter in the second house of Capricorn, and Capricorn is the debilitated sign of Jupiter as well. So generally this placement, when the ascendant lord itself becomes debilitated, evokes a lot of apprehensions among people, because as you know, the lord of Lagna or lord of ascendant is one of the most important planet in judging the strength of a horoscope, and when that planet becomes debilitated, then all kinds of negative thoughts and connotations get associated with this position. But in next few minutes we will learn about some of the most practical implications of this placement, and also see that there are tremendous areas of life in which this placement of Jupiter could be like a great blessing. So with Sagittarius is the ascendant sign, Jupiter becomes lord of Lagna or ascendant itself, because Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. And at the same time, Pisces will fall on the fourth house, which is another sign ruled by Jupiter. So first and fourth house will be affected by this placement due to lordship. And Jupiter obviously is placed in the second house, so second house significations will have direct impact as well. Now apart from this, Jupiter is given some special aspects in Vedic astrology. Jupiter aspect 5th house from itself, which will be the 6th house. Jupiter aspects 7th from itself, and also it aspects 9th from itself, which will be respectively the 8th house and 10th house, which is the all important house of your work life in this chart. So you see, this one placement of Jupiter directly impacts 6 out of the 12 houses, and a deep study of this placement can give a lot of clues regarding a lot of different areas of your life. But in this video we will definitely focus about some of the most important and practical aspects of this placement of Jupiter, and we'll also see that this debilitation, how can it give so many positive as well as some negative effects. So let's begin with the very first house, because Jupiter is lord of ascendant, and first house shows your mental as well as physical makeup. So first house is the house of your body. It shows also who is born, and since first house shows your head, which contains your brain, it has a great say in understanding the mental personality of the chart as well. So with Jupiter as the lord and in the debilitated sign of Capricorn and placed in the second house of family as well as wealth and money and material prosperity, what actually happens is that people with this kind of placement, for them material prosperity, physical wealth becomes really important. See, Capricorn is the sign which is known as Adhi Bhotik sign, which means the peak of physical activities. So though generally Jupiter is related to philosophy, unlike Mars and Saturn, who are known to be the signs of this physical world, Jupiter is supposed to take you, to higher realms of philosophy, of spirituality, meditation and so on. And the sign of Sagittarius is known to give a lot of knowledge to people. But because this is placed in this debilitated sign of peak physical accomplishment, this shows that, material prosperity, physical prosperity, wealth, and success in those matters rather than philosophy and spirituality, that becomes the key concern for this human being. And at the same time, family matters becomes very important. Now Jupiter is present in the second house, which generally shows that the person would most likely be born in a large family, in a big family. Now in Eastern culture it could mean that there is a joint family in which the person is born and brought up, or it could mean that at least the family is close to their grandparents or cousins, and there are large family gatherings happening very frequently. So not only that the person becomes deeply involved with their family because Lord of Lagna is in the second house, but it also means that he is blessed with a large family bonding or many members in the family. Now, since Jupiter is in debilitated position here, in the sign of Capricorn, the flip side of it could be that in many cases, especially in the chart of male horoscopes, this can indicate that person might need to take care of a large family as well, meaning they will have to shoulder the responsibility of a large family. Now, not that this horoscope shows aversion towards family. The placement in the second house actually shows a deep commitment towards the family members, but it also shows a deep responsibility which needs to be carried out. And now since Jupiter, as I said, is in the sign of peak physical activities, Capricorn represents all kind of business activities. So it is also very likely that the family has some kind of family business. And especially again in Eastern cultures, in India especially, these kind of charts are very common in places or in people who have some kind of land related family business. Now it could be simply farming, or it could be some kind of buy and sell of property, etc. And the reason is Jupiter is Lord of the fourth house in the sign of business activity, present in the second house of family. So it does show that the family of birth could have some kind of a family business related to land, and possibility of that increases multifolds if this Jupiter is aspected by Saturn, which is the karma karka, or which is the primary karka of professional life, and Mercury, because Mercury is Lord of the 10th house. Now from the physical health point of view, because Jupiter is in the second house shows your food habits, the kind of food you like to eat, and Jupiter shows sweets. So it is likely that the person would like to eat a lot of sweets, and because Jupiter is debilitated and also has an aspect on the 6th house. 6th house, among other things, shows a lot of details about the kind of diseases the person may contact. So anything related to eating a lot of food and fat, because Jupiter is also primary karka of fat. So things like overall overweight, or blood pressure related things, or things related to organs represented by Jupiter like liver, etc., or high blood pressure or diabetes, those are very commonly occurring health problems which this Jupiter placement can give you. So apart from watching what you eat, one very important remedy could be consuming some kind of turmeric every day. It could be added into the food you eat like a spice, or it could also be taken separately with water before you go to sleep, just a small pinch of it. That has found to be extremely beneficial for people with this placement, especially for women who have either just given birth or planning to take birth, or planning to give birth. It is very important that they take some turmeric as part of their normal food habit. Now let's quickly talk about the second house significations. So we already saw that people with this placement have a great tendency to eat good food, especially sweets. And second house also shows your speech, the way you speak and your voice quality. So Jupiter, is the natural karaka of knowledge. It shows the kind of understanding you have of the world. And it is in the debilitated sign. So what does it show about your speech? Well, one thing for sure, that people with this placement, they love to talk. They love to speak. They love to speak about different things. Because Capricorn is the Adi Bhautika sign, or the sign of peak physical accomplishment. And they are sort of, very smart in their talk. So even if they lack knowledge about something, they would be able to present their thoughts in such a nice way that other people generally get impressed and at least feel that this guy is very knowledgeable. And since this Jupiter has a direct aspect on the 10th house, which is the house of professional success. So if Mercury is anyway supportive to this Jupiter, then their professional life could also be related to their speech, meaning they can get into some kind of business or business activity or job which requires them to talk and convince other people. So if with this placement Mercury is helpful, or say placed in 4th or 5th house, they could be teachers, they could be college lecturers, who speak a lot, or someone who get to do public speaking a lot. And this placement of Jupiter is also very suitable for earning through knowledge, earning money and gathering money through the spread of knowledge. Because second house shows your accumulated wealth, and Jupiter is present right here, which is the primary karaka of knowledge and speech. Now, as the lord of the 4th house, Jupiter placed in the 11th house from this. So this is the 4th house. Jupiter here is actually 11th from this. So this is a good placement for knowledge. People with this placement, as I said, they cannot, they obviously can earn from their knowledge, which means they will have good degree, good educational degree and respect for knowledge at the same time. And only one thing they need to be little bit careful about is, because Jupiter from here has aspect on the 6th house, we already talked about the kind of physical issues which it can generate due to the habit of overeating or not being cautious about what you eat. But you should also be cautious about what you speak, because there are many times you can offend people because of your speech and make enemies out of them, because there is this aspect of Jupiter on the 6th house of enemies, which means it increases your enemies because you have been careless about the way you spoke or the way you speak about some people. Now this happens especially when Venus is afflicted, because Venus here is the lord of the 6th house. And since Venus also has a simultaneous lordship of the 11th, which is the house of friends. So what this shows is, if you speak carelessly, some of your friend circles or some people from your friend circles will not like it, and they may turn against you or just hold a grudge and offense against you. They may not openly come as your enemies, but they internally may hold a grudge against you. And the reason why they may not come openly is, see, Venus is a very benefic planet, very soft planet. Venus is not like Mars or Saturn. And Venus is not an aggressive planet who would come and hit you. Venus is feminine. They would resist, but in a different way. So that's why you may create enemies or hidden enemies because of your speech if you are not careful. So this is one very important thing to take care about for this placement of Jupiter. Now, as we discussed in the beginning, there are umpteen number of areas you can learn about. If you go a little deeper, a lot more understanding can be obtained about various areas of life. However, this being a quick snap video, I'm going to stop here, and I really thank you for being with me so far. I hope you would have liked this video and and it would have helped you understand little more about this placement. Please do like and subscribe to my channel to continue to get more updates like this. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you again soon with another video. Till then, bye bye.